Hi, good morning. Happy Monday, May 4th. We are continuing again into our Greek myths. We are going to continue talking about the last man we talked about, which was Mr. Hercules. So let's just review back what we saw. We found out that people were scared of him, but he had all this crazy strength even as a baby. People were not nice to him. Remember, they sent him out saying that he was too mean. And remember how Hercules felt sad, like he didn't want to be mean, he just didn't know how to control it. And then Theseus, King Theseus of Athens, came up and told him, you will come with me and we will do something different. So Hercules set out once more, never guessing that his most remarkable adventure and his greatest glory still lay before him. So the title for today's read aloud is Other Adventures of Hercules. So I just want you to stop and think, what other adventures do you think Hercules is about to have in today's story? Just stop and think for a minute, talk about it. If somebody's in the room with you, write it down. So I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to do that. Okay. So today your objective is going to be able to tell the central message of the story, or the main idea, the central idea of the myth. So, oops, sorry, that might be loud. All right, so here we are. Make it a little bigger, and I'm looking over here because again, I have my notes right here. As Hercules journeyed across Greece, he thought about what his friend King Theseus had told him. You will never be free of the past until you have worked away your guilt and mastered your temper and great strength. Go ask Apollo, the god of wisdom and truth. How do these things? And remember always, you have a friend who believes in you. Hercules traveled up into the mountains until he reached Delphi, where there was a famous temple built to honor the god Apollo. In a cave behind this temple sat a priestess. When someone asked her a question, she would go into a trance as if she was asleep, and Apollo would speak through her. The words would come from her mouth with her voice, but the Greeks believed they were really Apollo's words. Hercules asked for Apollo's guidance or his input, and the answer came back. Go to King Eurystheus and do as he commands. Thus began perhaps the most famous of Hercules' many adventures. King Eurystheus sent the hero out to perform the most difficult tasks he could think of. 12 in all, and these daring deeds became known as the labors of Hercules. So we're going to stop right here. A labor is a job, so he gave him these laborious tasks, these jobs, okay? What do you think the labors might be? What do you think that this guy is going to, King Eurystheus, is going to have him do? I don't know. Let's find out. So here's our first one. The first of these labors that the king commanded Hercules to complete involved a large and dangerous animal. King Eurystheus was a small man, and he paced back and forth nervously in front of the throne as he spoke to huge Hercules. That's what we see right here. This is the king, and pacing just means walking back and forth. In another part of Greece, known as Nima, the king began, there lives a dangerous lion. You, Hercules, shall subdue the lion so he won't ever hurt anyone. That's how he talks. I am told that the lion's hide is magical, no material known to man, such as metal, stone, or wood. None of those can cut the lion's skin. You will have to think of another way to stop the lion. Bowing down, Hercules said, I don't know if I can do this, but I will try. Do you think that Hercules, think about it, so the text just said, that the lion's skin cannot be cut by metal, stone, or wood. So how do you think Hercules can, first of all, is Hercules even going to be successful in taking the lion down? And then how? How is he going to do it, you guys? Let's find out. So there's that lion. He has an arrow in his hand. I don't know if it's going to work or not, though. Hercules journeyed to Nima and at last found the fierce animal in the forest. Hercules moved forward until he had a clear view of the beast. Then the hero drew an arrow from his quiver and set the end of the string on his bow. Drawing back the string, he took careful aim and then let it go. But the arrow bounced right off the lion. His hide was indeed magical. His hide is, that's what they call the lion's fur, is a lion hide. So it bounced right off of his fur and fell on the ground. The lion was unhurt, but it still felt it. It awoke and leapt to its feet, roaring with rage, and then charged Hercules. Throwing down his bow and arrow, the hero stood waiting, his heavy stone club in his hand. Oh, do you think the club's gonna hurt the lion? I don't know. When the lion leaped at him, Hercules simply stepped to the side and let the lion sail right past him. Then Hercules struck with his club, which would have been powerful enough to knock down an elephant. But the Nemean lion, protected by its magical hide, did not suffer from the impact. It only sank to the ground for a moment, stunned. The club, however, had shattered into 100 pieces. So I want to go back real quick I noticed something in the text as I was reading it. So we talked about how to know if myths were fact or fiction, and something that it says right here that the author wrote. But the Nemean lion, protected by its magical hide, did not suffer from the impact. So I want you to think, remember, fiction is stuff that's not real. Nonfiction is real. And we talked about how myths are fictional and things that we can know. So could we use that sentence as proof that this is a fictional story? And how? How can we use that sentence as proof as that this is a fictional story? What do you think? About 10 seconds to think about that. All right, now what? Oh, now they're wrestling for real. And look, I feel like that's the lion's hair has the little magic stuff in it, huh? Look at those claws. Woo, scary, scary. Okay. Hercules, knowing in that moment the large cat would leap to the attack again, Hercules turned and leaped onto his back. Then Hercules reached forward and grabbed the lion's front paw so that it could not turn against him. The furious beast rolled on its back and on the ground, trying to shake him off. But Hercules' strength was too much, and he was able to control the lion. Ooh, what's he gonna do though? Well, that's an interesting image right there to look at, isn't it? Catching his breath, Hercules thought the report was true. The lion's hide protected it from my club and my arrow. If I could wear it, it would provide me protection. Did you guys see that coming? Did you guys see that Hercules was going to wear it so he could have protection? I did not. If I could wear it, it would provide me protection against swords and arrows. How could I make this happen? So Hercules thought about it and he was like, wow, this lion's fur, this lion's hide is magical. How could I turn it into something that I could wear so it can protect me as well? Pretty darn brilliant. After trying many ways to get the hide off the lion, Hercules had a brilliant idea. He lifted one of the lion's paws from the ground and used the lion's own claws to cut the hide. That is how Hercules slew the Nemean lion and succeeded in completing the first of his 12 tasks. Oh my gosh, what do you guys think? Do you guys think you would do that? Do you think that you would wear a lion's thing on you? I don't know that I would. I don't know that I would. Not at all. Especially like, look, his mouth is on his head. Ugh. Gross. All right, let's see what the next picture is showing us. Whoa, did Hercules turn it into it? Looks like he's wearing it, isn't it? This is 8A7, okay. So, King Eurystheus smiled at the large man in the lion skin who stood before his throne. Hercules, said the king, I have another labor for you to attempt or try. I want you to bring me 3 of the golden apples of the Hesperides. This startled even Hercules. But, Your Majesty, those 3 magical sisters live beyond any land to which humans have ever traveled. According to stories, in the middle of their garden is a tree from which the apples grow real gold. Let's go, you guys. Let's go to the tree. The sisters kept the location secret from otherwise people would constantly be there trying to get the gold. How am I to bring you even one of these apples if no one knows where they are? The king shrugged. If it were easy, Hercules, I would not need you. Now go. Oh, what's he gonna do? Oh, it's like far, far away, isn't it? Looking at this picture, it makes you think like he had to get on a whole ship. All right. So Hercules, who had traveled through the known world, now set sail for the unknown world. He sailed west, and after searching in vain for several weeks, he thought, there must be a better way to find this. Suddenly, he grinned. Wait a minute. I cannot find them myself, but I know where to find someone who could help. Oh, who's going to help him? Oh, who is that? Who is that? You guys should know who that is. You see, the Hesperides were the daughter of the biggest and strongest of all the giants, Atlas. The giants used to rule the world before Zeus became king of the gods. Ooh, I was wrong. That's a giant. That's not Zeus. I thought that was Zeus. After Zeus became king, he punished Atlas for fighting against him by having him stand and hold the entire sky on his massive shoulders. Ooh, again, is that a fact or a fiction statement? Can somebody hold the entire sky for real on their shoulders? So that it would not fall down upon the earth. Hercules journeyed until he found a range of enormous mountains. In the middle of them stood Atlas, bent beneath the weight of the sky. Hercules said, Hello, Atlas. Atlas squinted downward, calling in a deep voice, Who is there? It is I, Hercules. I have come to ask a favor. Hercules explained his mission and about as a man of bad temper, ending with his request, I hope you might direct me to your daughters and their garden. Atlas replied, I would gladly do so, but my daughters made me promise never to tell anyone where it is. I cannot break a promise, not even for you, Hercules. I would get you the apples myself, but I dare not set down the sky. Thinking for a moment, Hercules says, I am nowhere near your size, Atlas, but you know I am strong. Perhaps I can hold the sky while you go and get the apples I need. I don't know, do you guys think he looks a little small compared to Atlas, doesn't he? I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Let's see. Oh, wow, look at that. But do you think Atlas is really going to help him, or is he going to disappear and leave Hercules there forever? Atlas had stood unmoving for so long that now even his ideas moved slowly. Finally, he agreed, warning, Brace yourself, Hercules. Even you have never held a weight such as this one. Slowly, the giant lowered himself to his knees and transferred onto Hercules the weight of the entire sky. Hercules, as strong as he was, staggered a bit with the weight. Then he found his balance and said, I have it. Hurry back, Atlas. The giant strode away with mile-long steps. Hercules stood bent beneath the load of the sky. So I want you to remember that we talked about how these usually explain something. So right now, what could this potentially explain? Thinking about how Atlas holds the sky up. What do you think that the Greeks might think would happen if that if that giant wasn't holding the sky up? What do you think? So I think that the Greeks might have thought if he didn't hold the sky up, the sky would collapse to the ground, right? Because remember, they had all these beliefs, and that was one of them, that if the giant and somebody didn't hold the sky up, it would fall to the ground. All right. Oh, he actually did it. Look, guys, look what's in his hands. At last, Atlas returned and showed Hercules the golden apples. But to Hercules' horror, Atlas told him, I have held the sky almost from the beginning of time, and until today, I could never set it down. Now I know someone who is strong enough to take over the job. I will take the apples to your king. Oh no, you guys, do you think that's good or not? Hercules did not like this idea at all. Knowing how slowly Atlas thought, however, the hero answered, I did not know I would be holding the sky for so long a time, Atlas, so I was not careful enough when I took it from you. There seems to be a planet rubbing against the back of my neck. Oh, tricky. And it's starting to hurt. I'm afraid I might drop the sky. Before you go, please get the blanket from my pack over there and slip it between my neck and that planet. Ooh, what is Hercules tricking him? How's he tricking him right now? Atlas tried, but his hands were so large that he could not get the blanket out of the pack. So Hercules suggested, take back the sky long enough for me to set the blanket in place. Oh, do you guys think he actually meant that? Or do you think Hercules is going to take off? Oh, I think he's going to take off. He handed the load back to the giant. As soon as Atlas held the sky once more, Hercules said, I'm sorry, Atlas, but Zeus chose you to hold the sky. Thank you for bringing me the apples, though. Atlas sighed, realizing that Hercules has turned his own trick back against him. Tricky Hercules. Ooh, look, that's a different moment for Hercules, isn't it? Hercules completed all 12 of the labors after defeating the lion and retrieving the apples. Once he did, he was free to leave the service of the king Eurystheus. He once again traveled all over Greece, completing many heroic deeds, but this time he was thanked for them. So how do you think Hercules feels right now? Now that people are treating him differently, what do you guys think? I think he feels pretty darn good, don't you guys? Like, look at that smile on his face. Look at that. Good. All right. So your homework today for this myth is, what was the central message of this myth? What was the central message of this myth? What was the main idea of this myth? What are some takeaways that you could say that happened in this myth? Okay? I love you guys. Have a wonderful day.